Hello, everybody. It's Austin Brooks from Much Yu-Gi-Oh! He's telling you about a deck profile today. Austin, what is this?
We're playing Gravekeepers.
All right, let's get into it.
Alright. So, first thing we're going to start with is 3 Spy. Spy's just super good. With Necro Valley on the field, 2,500 defense, and that's pretty hard to get over. And then the flip effect, which allows you to special summon a monster, a Gravekeeper's monster with 1,500 or less attack. You can go into Recruiter or Descendant or whatever, or Flash Assailant or anything like that. Next card, we're going to be playing 3 Descendant. Descendant's effect is really good. You tribute a Gravekeeper monster, destroy any card on the field, doesn't have to be a monster. And you really want to pair that effect with this guy. That's Gravekeeper Recruiter. Basically, when he's sent to the graveyard, you get to search out a monster with 1,500 or less defense from your deck. So, I mean, pretty much you can search another Recruiter if you want, or, whatever. Just keep blowing their stuff up. Next monster is 3 copies of Gravekeeper's Commandant. Basically, just a terraforming with a body. I mean, you pitch him, search a Necro Valley. Necro Valley's a card you want to start. You want to start with it on the field. You don't want to wait around and have to try to find it, because at that point you're going to be super far behind. So 3 copies of him, and with Necro Valley on the field, he's a 2,100 attacker, so he's pretty beefy as well. And then something not a lot of people play in Gravekeepers, I played 2 copies of Guard. Guard's really, really good. His flip effect just bounces stuff back to the hand. I mean, Destruction's not very good this format, but I mean, obviously, if you're returning stuff to the hand, you're gonna be winning games, and especially with Exceeds, like you can send Draco Sack back, send just shit you don't want to deal with back. And then the last Gravekeeper monster I play 1 Assailant. Assailant's good, but not good enough to draw him firsthand, because really Assailant's only good for getting picking off monsters with low defense and like super high attack. Basically, when Necro Valley's on the field, that's his only caveat, is Necro Valley has to be on the field for him to activate his effect. When he declares an attack, he can change the position of the monster he's attacking. So just a good way to pick off scary stuff that doesn't have great defense. And then I play 2 non-Gravekeeper monsters. The first one is Gale. Gale's just really, really good, and she's a tuner, so she allows synchro plays, and her effect just basically allows you to have the attack of a face-up monster on the field. So, I mean, that's good. And, I mean, you can get into, like Armor Master and stuff with her. And then the last card I tech is I play 1 Grand Mole, because Grand Mole's really silly, and getting him in your hand's really annoying, and, he's really good. Okay, on to the spells. So, I'm going to do one-ofs first. I play 1 copy of Royal Tribute. Royal Tribute's a really, really broken card. When Necro Valley's on the field, just each player discards all the monsters in their hand, send them to the graveyard. Just really prevents a lot of plays from happening. It's only at 1, but, you draw it enough where it's really effective. I play 1 Book of Moon. Book of Moon's just really versatile. You can reset Spy, reset Guard, or use it defensively, like just Book of Moon a monster that's attacking. Dark Hole, just really relevant all the time because of monsters. 1 copy of MST. I side 2 more, but I didn't feel like I needed more than just the 1. I feel like I have enough spot removal with the Descendant Recruiter play that I didn't really need more than 1. And then I play 3 copies of Pot of Duality. You don't really special summon in this deck, so the condition on Pot of Duality doesn't really harm you at all. But this deck's a little bit inconsistent, so you want to try to find the consistency, and Pot of Duality is really good with that. Then, if there were a boss monster in this deck, it's Necro Valley, because Necro Valley is just a super good card, especially in this format. Shuts down a lot of stuff. Can't banish things from the graveyard. Monster effects you can't call the haunted stuff, or like TG Stun likes to use their theme Pot of Avarice. They can't do that. So it's just a really solid card, and it gives you that nice 500 attack and defense buff that's really lets your Gravekeeper monsters get over stuff that they normally couldn't. And then I play 3 copies of Steely. Many people only play 2, but I mean, I feel like this deck has a really hard time transitioning into the late game, so you're going to need all 3 copies if your game goes a little bit longer, because you kind of sputter out when you can't recycle your monsters, and you can't get back descendants and recruiters and stuff, or guards. So just a really useful card. I'd run it at 3. Okay, on to the traps now. I play 1 Torrential for obvious reasons. 1 Solemn Warning for obvious reasons. 1 Bottomless for obvious reasons. 1 Compulse. Those are just kind of staple trap lineup there. The next thing I do play 1 of is I play 1 Blackhorn. I used it a couple times. I mean, it's really good. Just negate a special summon. 2 copies of D-Prison. Destruction is not very good in this format, so I mean banishing things is really pretty solid, and D-Prison allows you to do that. Next I play 2 copies of Mirror Force. Even though Destruction's not that good, Mirror Force is still potentially a board wipe, which I think is, I mean, if you can just plus your opponent in any way, it's good. So Mirror Force is pretty good. I also like to side at least 1 out. And then 2 copies of Fiendish Chain. Fiendish Chain's just kind of ridiculous. I mean, you take problems away, and like especially even if you can't necessarily get over those problems, you have stuff like Assailant that can answer it and switch it into defense position to blow it up. Okay, on to the extra deck. I play 1 copy of Blackwing Armor Master. That's for the Gale. He's a level 7, so I mean you make him pretty easy in this deck. Just a really good effect. Again, allows you to get over things you normally wouldn't be able to. That's kind of what this deck is premised around, is like taking big threats, like neutralizing them, and then like blowing them up. So the 1 Armor Master is really solid. Then I play 2 copies of Key Beetle. Key Beetle's really good. You lock Necro Valley, or lock like something useless. Like you can even lock recruiters and stuff. And he's a 2500 beat stick, and just pretty solid. 1 Zenmeister. He's kind of funny for like guard or spy plays. You flip him face down, flip him up again, get their effect again. 1 Evil Swarm Thanatos. Detach 1. He's immune from monster effects. He's pretty good for just doing stuff. He does a lot of things. 1 Steel Swarm Roach. I think Roach is really, really good. He can allow you to prevent those big summons, and he's just a good card. 1 Maestroke. Maestroke's just good. She's a Bookamoon with a body. 1 Marrowgeist. I think Marrowgeist is a little bit. I probably would have played like maybe an Abyss Dweller if I had it, because I mean that kind of shuts down like anything in the graveyard, as opposed to just like on the field or whatever. But I mean this is still a quality card. 1 Cowboy for finishing games. 1 Gem Knight, because it's a vanilla and it's 2600. 1 Utopia. 1 Utopia Ray. I mean, I had nothing else to play. And then I have 3 level 3 Exceeds. I play 1 Leviathan Dragon because he's okay. He's not that good. I don't really go into him that much. 1 Zen Mains. He's he's good. He's really good, but you don't really go into your rank 3s that much. And then one Acid Golem, because he can finish games really well as well. Alright. Now onto the side deck. I play 3 copies of Imperial Iron Wall. Dragons are a big threat this format, so preventing them from banishing cards is really effective. I also play 3 copies of Gozen Match. For the same reason, dragons are really prevalent, and Gozen Match helps you at shutting them down. I play 1 Royal Decree, just to play it. I mean, you could run into a lot of like rogue chain burn stuff or something and get the Royal Decree and win the game. I played 2 Snowman Eater because I had nothing better to play, and I mean, it's a decent card. Like when he's attacked, you pop something off the field and he does things. The next card is 1 Kaiser Coliseum. I really like this card. This is a super effective card at shutting down like Evil Swarms or Constellars, or especially dragons even, like just preventing them from having like so many monsters on the field and swarming you is really effective. I also play 1 Rivalry for Constellar Evil Swarm matchups. Like, practically all the Gravekeepers are spellcasters, so, you know. I also play 1 Light Imprisoning for Constellars. This deck has a really hard time against Constellars, so the 1 Light Imprisoning helps. I also want 1 Trap Stun, because Trap Stun's just a really good trap card. I would have mained it, but I couldn't find room for it. So, yeah, 1 Trap Stun. 2 MSTs. MSTs are really good. Side them in, especially against like Madolches or dragons, just get rid of Ravine or Chateau.
And that is your September 2013 Gravekeeper's deck. Thank you.